Good morning, good morning. Big reaction to the CPI number at 8:30. Today's going to be a really simple trading day, and let's just first look at the news and see where we are. So we had CPI come in, big reaction to that, inflation rate month on month, year on year. We've got oil news coming at 10:30. That could move the market if you're in oil. Could move the oil market. So keep an eye on that. But the big one today is the Fed interest rate decision and FOMC at 2 p.m. and then maybe not see much move around 2 o'clock. But 2:30 today, we've got the Fed press conference, so we could see some movement then. So keep an eye on that. So big news day today, and you can see the daily big push up into all-time highs, and there's nothing above, which makes it a real easy day for levels. There are no levels. The only thing I can recommend watching for myself, and that would be a bounce down here at 53.75.50. Apart from that, I can't see any rejection just yet. Hard to reject in such a bullish market. And that's it. That's all. I've got nothing for today. So ES, watch for a bounce around 53.75. Maybe watch the trend in the hours and see whether we can pull off a bit of a scalp rejection, or if we pull back a bit, look for a pullback and a buy the dip, but nothing. Okay, so moving on to SPY. I bet you guess what we're going to talk about in SPY. Nothing as well. We've got no levels apart from yesterday's level at 5.36 for a bounce. We don't need these trend lines anymore. We really need to come back down to, I can't see any rejections again on SPY. Zooming out, and then there's all-time highs daily. Reducing volume maybe today. Markets might maybe who knows, maybe the market's buying into high prices for it to be rejected later in FOMC, but it's looking pretty bullish, and I think trend continuation is the only trade to watch for today. It's going to be hard to go short when it's so strong, so maybe try and look for a bit of a pullback and a bounce. You can probably do some fibs. Let's go back to the ES and do some fibs. See if we can get a level out of that. One thing I do like to do on the 5-minute chart, let's do that now. Let's put in the data candle fibs. So I always like to see that. So that gives us our 50% level and the anchored VWAP as well. So while we're above the VWAP, we can say we're bullish. If we break below it, we could be bearish. Not on the day, but bearish in the lower time frame. We can probably watch for a bounce around 54.10. That's the 50% area of this data candle, and potentially we could watch for a rejection at the top of this data candle. If it's going to show a bit of rejection where we are now, that'll be a scalp, but there's nothing else really. And just keep an eye on this anchored VWAP. If we lose a VWAP, we can watch 50% of the fibs. Okay, SPY is the same. See, if we go back now, you can see now, look at that, we're rejecting the top of that data candle. So that's the 8:30 candle. Let's open up my pen. Touched it, rejected. Touched it a second time, rejected. So you could potentially watch for a scalp around this area, short, and then use the high of that candle as your stop loss, but that's a high risk rejection. Not really something I want to do. I am back testing data candles, the 8:30 data candles, to see whether we can find some plays. This area comes out pretty highly probable. I haven't got any exact figures, and the rejection of the high of the data candle is also relatively, it's got some, there's more for it than against it. But I've not got any figures, so I'm still back testing, and I'll take screenshots every day of what happens as well on the data candles. Okay, let's look at NQ next. Let's go to SPX, sorry. So when we open up, big move up, we're probably going to be we can watch for a rejection at 5400. Not sure how close we're going to be. Far from now, I think. Let's go to the daily. I don't know actually. Hourly. 5400. Yeah, watch for a rejection at 5400. We're going to open up pretty close to there, I think. That's an area to keep an eye on. And then bounce wise, not until we get down to this area 5300. And we've got this area of confluence as well, yesterday's low. So let's keep an eye on this area. It's more of a region, and it's from the yesterday's highs 53.31, yesterday's lows to the highs of last week and beginning of the week. What's that? Tuesday I meant, and Friday last week, that area there. So all the way down to, let's draw it as a zone. Keep an eye on this area for a potential bounce. We've got a level of 331. Okay, let's look at NQ. Again, we've got one level to watch down here. You could watch pre-market high, yesterday's high. I'm sorry, pre-market low, yesterday's high for a bounce, and that level is 19,250. Just put that level in. Otherwise, the best bounce will be back down in this region, 19,000 exactly. I like that area. That's an area to watch. Bit of a demand area there as well. So last time we were there, we took a big reaction, came down into that zone, pushed back up. So I'm marking that as a demand zone. And then again, I can't see any bounces there. There's not much volume there. Pre-market volumes got to be down this area. So you can keep an eye on 19,253 as a high risk bounce, but best area will be at 19,151 and then 19,000. QQQ, same as before, same as NQ I meant. We can watch this area here for a bounce. 464 to 465 area, and then we've got this area of demand down here at 460 to 461.37. Oil, crude oil on this big uptrend. Next rejection area is up here at 80.50. We can watch that area for rejection. I was originally waiting for, what's going on? I was originally waiting for the break and retest of this area of was supply, now it's demand. But it went straight through there, came back and retested that area. Look at that for a retest and carried on. So we can go with the local, the hourly trend for this. So we look for a pullback. So I'm watching 78.37 for a bounce. And that was yesterday's high and pre-market low, and no rejection until we get up here. Gold, I really want to start trading gold more. That's a big reaction today as well. Expected to, I was hoping it would reject this area, but it's gone. It did once, so hopefully someone took that yesterday. We talked about that area there. My pen's not working, so we've got this area here for the rejection, 23.36. That was a great one. I missed that. I wasn't really watching gold yesterday. And now we've broken through and we're closing on the hourly above the 50, which is down here, and now on the 200, and we're above the point of control as well. So it's looking pretty bullish as well. As for rejection, well, the point of control sums it up. Tops are pivots, bottoms are pivots. So we can watch 23.65 for rejection, probably around this area, probably where we are, where the point of control is. 23.65 for a reject, and then bounce wise we can probably watch yesterday's high for a bounce. RTY, wow, look at that. Now that is taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6 days worth of trade in pre-market. And if I were to find a bounce point, it will probably be here. Well, I'm looking at tops and bottoms of candles, areas of confluence. So 29.70, 29.69.50 for a bounce. You can probably look at the fibs on that as well and find somewhere. Assuming the pre-market high is going to be the high, like 50% not until we get way back down there from the move today. Looking bullish, very bullish. So maybe watch 20.50 for a bounce potentially. YM again, it's taken out all of the previous resistance. This is a head and shoulders pattern I was watching as well. We talked about it yesterday. Came back in, break and retest, which would have worked. So hopefully somebody took that yesterday, break and retest off the head and neckline. We were a good move down. Now we're taking out the highs. We haven't quite taken out that pivot, but we can look for a break and retest, long to continue the trend, or a pullback by the dip at the levels we've already been on watch. 38.945 for a bounce, and obviously the 50% would be around about here. That's probably the 50% area as well. Let's take a look. From that move down, look at that. So watch that area, 38.880 for a bounce, and that's exactly 50%. The point of control, and yesterday's high, pre-market low. So quite a few things lining up there for a bounce. In fact, I will put my alert in so we get back down to that area and keep an eye on that. And then Bitcoin almost gave up the ghost yesterday. Let's go into the daily for this. Broke down below that pivot and now it's giving it back again. So still engulfing on the daily. We haven't quite broken that candle, yesterday's candle, but we can keep an eye on that. Again, if we break over 71,000, we can look maybe for a new all-time high in that region. If we can't, if we close below this area, then we can look for potential bounces down in this region, 60,000. Everything's looking pretty bullish today. Back to ES, see where we are. Takes ages to load. I don't know why it takes so long to load like this. Yeah, so even on the daily it's looking bullish. I think we can watch for a bounce around 53.70 on the daily, potentially down here at 53.50, and they're numbers we recognise because we talked about them quite a lot. And where are we now? So still taking out the highs, going to the 5 minute. We've broken that candle now, so potentially this could use a data rejection area, but I don't like it. It's too me. I'm looking for a bounce, but I'll probably consider a bounce if we get back down to this region down here. So probably a day to sit on hands, wait for the FOMC circus later, and enjoy. Okay, thank you for watching. In fact, I was just about to say, let's quickly before I do go, let's just look at the order flow. So I do like to just